Israel, Israel. Who am I? An Israelite. Who am I? An Israelite.
The book of St. John, chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Israel. First, giving all praise to the Most High Yah and His Son Yahushua bless, man. COL coming again today with another class. As you can see, the title read as The Annihilation of the Greek General Nicanor. You know I had to throw that Greek in there, you know what I'm saying? Because we're going to talk about it today. Once again, annihilation means total destruction of the Greek general Nicanor. So today, Israel, we're going to deal with one of our feast days, which we know as the destruction of Nicanor. Like I said, there's a lot of reading today, but like I said, I'm going to give y'all the foundation and the understanding of one of these feast days, which is the destruction of Nicanor. Goes into one of our ceremonial laws. This is what we're going to cover today. And like always, we'll start out. Let's go ahead. I can give you that Romans chapter 15 and verse 4.
The book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
So now we realize as we come back into our inheritance, come back to our nationality, and know the understanding of repentance, getting back right with the Most High God, He have gave us that understanding to realize that this Bible was written for our learning. Our forefathers written the testimonies of what they went through so we can build and learn from their mistakes and also capitalize on what they did in righteousness. But read on.
That we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Israel, as we continue to build you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, y'all need to realize this Bible is our hope.
That's right.
So, that being said, talking about the destruction of Nicanor, this is what I want to ask Israel, man. This is what I want to, matter of fact, let me reach out even further to my still African American people, to my still Hispanic and Native American individuals. When you think about our inheritance, when you think about you believing in God, you have to ask yourself, based on what we've been taught, have we been taught our inheritance? Have we been taught our history? I know with all the so-called Negroes, our history started pretty much with slave ships.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Then you go a little bit further back, they say we was in Africa chucking spears and stuff, chasing monkeys and elephants, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. That's what they teach us. But as we come into the understanding of this truth, go ahead and give it that 2 Corinthians chapter 4, and we're going to start at verse 3, because now we have the understanding and realize this Bible is not a book of religion. This Bible is our history book.
That's right.
But the only way we're going to be able to decode this Bible, we have to come out of sin.
That's right.
And when you come out of sin, this is what you realize. Go ahead and read that out.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 3. But if our gospel be hid.
Notice this. Gospel means good news. When you think about the so-called Blacks, Hispanic, and Native American, I know we still in Black History Month right in this captivity. So-called Black History Month. So when you think about gospel meaning good news, where is the good news for you so-called Negroes? Talk to me. The Hispanic, what a good news for you? Hispanic means property of Spain.
That's right. That's right.
Come on, they say remember the Alamo. The Alamo wasn't a good episode for your people, which we know y'all the northern kingdom of Israel. So when you think about the Native American, what was the good news where is the good news for y'all? Now we realize that we are the children of the Most High God. We have to realize, read that again out.
But if our gospel be hid.
This is what we're trying to share with our people. Our gospel, the good news for us has been hidden. Let's see why.
It is hid to them that are lost.
Because when you realize what nation lost their inheritance? What nation lost their nationality? What nation lost their native tongue? It is hidden for them that are lost. We, as all the nations that's on this earth, 18 nations that the Most High God created, we are truly the lost nation. So this knowledge and this understanding was hidden from us. We're going to get that understanding why it was hidden as we continue to class. But read on out.
In whom the God of this world.
Notice the Bible say this. In whom the God of this world. Understand God just means superior being. What nation is in rulership in this world right now? The so-called white man. Which is biblical name is Esau, Idumean, Edom. So we realize the God of this world, the people that's in rulership in this world, They did what?
Had blinded the minds of them which believe not.
This was how we was blinded, through captivity, hard bondage. So the ones that have not embraced the words of the Most High God, this is how we've been destroyed. Read on.
Lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ,
Come on now.
who is the image of God, should shine unto them.
This is what we have to realize. When they say the pretty much glorious gospel, glory of Yahweh Shah shall shine towards us today. How is that happening? Give me Psalm 40 and 7 right quick. Because now, Christianity, y'all know this precept, but y'all don't really embrace it. When they say the word became flesh, how is Christ is shining upon us today? Let's see what he say in Psalm 40 and 7. Read that right quick.
The book of Psalms, chapter 40, verse 7. Then said I, Lo, I come in the volume of the book.
So when we understand when Yahweh Shah spoke and when he addressed this, and he said also in the New Testament, he come in the volume of the book. His glory and his praises that shine upon us today is this Bible that we keep running from, that we have not embraced, that we have not seeked our forefathers. I think that's what Job 8 and 8. But per I say for our forefathers. This is what we have to realize. Finish it out.
It is written of me.
Come on. He said it was written of me. This is how Christ, Yahweh Shah, is shining upon the 12 tribes of Israel today. The question is, we don't want to remember nothing. We have been traumatized with Stockholm Syndrome. We just want to get along, go along and get along. Come on, man. Happy Easter, man. Happy Easter, bro. We just gonna celebrate that. I'm off that day anyway. Everybody else doing it. But Easter has nothing to do with the children of Israel.
That's right.
Come on now. Christmas have nothing to do with the children of Israel. So when you think about this thing, we don't want to remember, but when you go in this Bible, Deuteronomy 32 and 7, building up to the class of Israel, they want to make a valid point. We don't want to hear nothing. We don't want to remember nothing. We want to go along and get along. That's right. And we don't want nobody, I'm telling you, that the definition of love in this world is to not offend no one. I know you don't want to do that.
That's right.
Come on now. But the Most High God requires us to do something. Let's see what he requires to do.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old.
What does the Bible say?
Remember the days of old.
That's right.
When you think about our people that love this world, they don't want to remember nothing about the days old. They'll tell you right now, man, we don't got that. That's in the past, man. Right. We need to worry about that. We need to focus on now. But what does the Bible say?
Remember the days of old.
Come on now.
Consider the years of many generations.
Notice what the scripture says. Not only remember the days, consider the years of many generations. Consider why we was on a slave ship. Consider why we've been over 400 years and we still like second-class citizens.
That's right.
Consider that Moab then come over here, 10, 15, 20 years ago, top as a whole, and they have more businesses than the so-called Negro.
That's right.
So he said, don't just remember, consider the years of many generations. Why are we still at the bottom? Let's see. Read on.
Ask thy father.
Understand. In a spiritual form, asking our Father, coming into this Bible.
That's right.
Read.
And he will shew thee.
Come on now.
Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
This is what we have to understand. We have to inquire to know. Sometimes we'll say, we have not because we ask not.
That's right.
This is what we have to realize, Israel. If we don't seek our history, they're going to teach you the history they want you to know.
That's right.
So now, dealing with this concept of what we've been through, which is the truth, give me 1 Maccabees chapter 56 and verse 7. Because somebody told me the other day, the black man, he going through what he's going through because he's ignorant and he don't want to seek knowledge and understanding of nothing. I'm going to say, I told him, okay, man, 50% of that might be true. But guess what? The one that was seeking, I'm going to show you how we were dealt. I'm going to show you what they say, the cards that we were dealt. Watch this. Read that for me, y'all.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 56.
Because in our captivity, you got to realize, and I certainly with everybody, we got punished as a nation. Everybody in Israel wasn't going off like that.
That's right.
But as a nation, we went into hard bondage because as a whole, collective, we did. But guess what? The one that was trying to cling to the Most High God, the one that was trying to do what would need to be done, let's see how the other nation was dealing with us. Read that right quick, God.
And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law.
So in these captivities, now we're dealing with the Greek captivity right now, but multiple captivities, don't you know, the first thing they took away from us was our inheritance, these laws that you commanded.
Right.
It was a reason, I ain't gonna lie, I was a youngster. I was like, man, that was some homosexual, which I was right about that. Like, why you put a whole nation on the ship butt naked? But to understand our clothing lines up with the scriptures. The whole goal was to erase the whole format of who we are as a nation. So when you think about it, that's why Big Mama and Skeeter Bump and Uncle Charles, all them was on the boat butt naked. Because when you look at our clothes is royalty.
Right.
We have the bordeaux blue, the fringes on there. So when you think about it, they did what to the book, Doc? Read that again.
And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law,
notice the books of the law, read.
Which they found,
come on now.
They burned them with fire.
Come on now.
And wheresoever was found with any book of the testament.
So understand.
That's right.
These are documents. When they say they burnt the books, then they say, okay, you want to try to, look, you want to try to, I'm going to hold this. He said the one that was trying to hide the books, pretty much, what happened to him? I'll read on.
Or if any consented to the law.
And you were trying to keep the law, read.
The king's commandment was that they should be put to death.
No, they just told him don't do it no more.
They should be put him to death.
Come on now. This is what we have to realize. When we was in our captivity, man, it wasn't go along to get along. A lot of time our people, I think, what was that Kanye talking about? Slavery was a choice. I guess to a certain extent. But hey, because we didn't keep the commandments. But overall, man, this is what was going on. So now, that being said, I want to talk to y'all about something. We're dealing with the ceremonial law. Why haven't y'all, and I want you to walk with me, Christianity. I want you to walk with me. I know y'all strolling through looking. If you is being taught about God, why haven't they not taught the African so-called Negroes the ceremonial laws of God? Because when you look at the understanding of this, Israel laws, our ceremonial feasts, actually 90% of them covers what? The destruction of our enemies.
That's right.
When you look at Passover, that was what? The demolishment of our Egyptian captivity.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you look at now, we're looking at in our Greek captivity, we're looking at the destruction of Nicanor. That's why I made sure I put in the title. The Greek general. This is why your oppressors have not taught you your ceremonial laws. Because our ceremonial laws celebrate the Most High God fighting for his chosen people. Now, that being said, give me Judges 5 and 11 right quick. Building up for the class, Israel. So when we celebrate our ceremonial laws, we actually put in remembrance of what the Most High God has done for us. We actually put in remembrance, because guess what? When you teach your children the Passover, you teach your children who is your enemy. Right. You teach your children what we went through, why we went through it, what happened while we was in the process of being enslaved, and how we got out of it. These ceremonial laws are very important because our ceremonial law is a replicate of the Most High God grace and mercy upon Israel. Yeah. Watch this. Judges 5 and 11.
The book of Judges, chapter 5, verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers.
Understand, delivered from the noise of archers. That's a similitude. Going into thermonuclear missiles when Babylon is going to be destroyed, the daughter of Babylon. And also delivered from the noise of archers. Also go into the formality of this, the philosophies of man.
That's right.
They that deliver from Christianity. They that deliver from Islam. All these pretty much vain pagan religions that we've been taught over. You have to free your mind from all that and come to the biblical truth of the Bible. So as you being delivered from that, read on.
In the places of drawing water.
Drawing waters that represent the place of servitude. You so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native American, we are still in servitude today. And I know somebody, I got my own business, but who you pay your taxes to? Yeah. We still in servitude to this day. Michael Jordan can sell all the shoes he wants to. He'll never be richer than a man that signed his check.
That's right. That's right.
Come on, man. So the places of drawing water, that means in your captivity. will scatter across the four corners of the earth. Read on.
There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord.
Notice what the Bible saying. There. It didn't say go back to Jerusalem. It said there shall you do what?
Rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord.
Come on now.
Even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of the villages in Israel.
This is what we have to realize. When you go into Isaiah, I think that's chapter 59, I'm not mistaken, it say give them no rest. See, the thing is, I always say this, it's no fun when a rabbit got the gun. See, when we celebrate the feast of the destruction of Nicanor, knowing that he was Greek, hey, it's fear upon the nation.
That's right. That's right.
It brings uncomfort towards the nation. Because they realize, hey, I thought we burnt all them books. I thought you said them niggas don't be reading. Hey, well, we have to realize this, Israel. Give me Nahum, chapter 1 and verse 15. I want a precept, Judges 5 and 11. I heard a brother tell me before, man, y'all always go there, but y'all don't never precept that one. Okay, it's a precept for that. We got you. Let's see what Nahum was told.
The book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 15. Behold, upon the mountains the feet of him that bringeth good tidings.
There's 1 to 15. Hold on, make sure I got that right. 1 second here, make sure I'm going to quote with that one. 1 to 15? Go ahead, read it again.
Behold, upon the mountains the feet of him that bringeth good tidings.
All right.
That publishes peace. O Judah.
O Judah, okay.
Keep thy solemn feast.
Hold on, what? Keep thy what?
Thy solemn feast.
Come on now.
Perform thy vows.
He said, Nahum was told by the Most High God to do what?
Perform thy vows.
Read.
For the wicked shall no more pass through thee. He is utterly cut off.
Come on, man. So this even did when we was in Nineveh and all that. Even in this captivity, Nahum was told that he was keeping the feast days of the Most High God. So that being said, I just wanted to show that precept, and we're going to build from that. This is what we have to realize, Israel. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. We're about to get into the title of the class. Why was we never taught the ceremonial laws of the Most High God? I share this with all my brothers and sisters. Nothing new up under the sun. The devil have no new tricks. We just refuse to receive the knowledge from the Most High God.
That's right.
Because when you think about this, not teaching you ceremonial law, not teaching you the oracles of the Most High God, hoping that we don't remember the atrocity that we've been through, this is what's going on. Read there right quick out.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan.
Lest who?
Lest Satan.
Satan mean adversary of God. Lest Satan read.
Should get an advantage of us.
Come on now. Because guess what? Not teaching us our true history. Not teaching us who we are. That is the advantage that Satan have over us now. That's why the prophets are back. And we're here to erase that concept of what we've been taught in this kingdom. Well, we don't.
For we are not ignorant.
Oh, what does the Bible say?
For we are not ignorant of his devices.
So we realize his devices now. We understand the process of what he's doing now. All right, teach them our ways. Teach them our history. Our history goes further back than slave ship. That's right. Real. So now, let's get into the masses of things here. I want to bring something to y'all attention right quick. Exodus chapter 17 and verse 16. Before we go forward, we must always look back. We must always go back and learn and have understanding of everything to come. I tell people all the time, no brother tell me before, you struggle with the new because you don't understand the old. I think Paul said it best. Or that Peter said about Paul, right? That's what it was. Now watch this. Read that out.
The book of Exodus, chapter 17, verse 16. For he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
Now, Christianity, you read that, thank you, Jesus, hallelujah, just keep going. Now, I want y'all to realize how powerful this precept is.
That's right.
Now, Read it again. I want the people to hear this.
The book of Exodus, chapter 17, verse 16. For he said, because the Lord had sworn that the Lord would have war with Amalek.
Stop right there. Being a believer, if you, what they say over here, the Christianity people, I can't call them Christian because we the Christians, but the Christianity believers, if you really believe the word of God, this should strike a bell. Wait, hold on, wait a minute. Out of all the people, all the nations, the Most High God sworn that he's going to have war with Amalek.
That's right.
For who, read out?
From generation to generation.
So it's prophesied and stated in Exodus that he's going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And you never thought to ask Pastor Pochop, who in the hell is Amalek?
That's right.
Think about this. And you read that like, bro, I need to find out who this is. Because the Most High God is stating that he's going to have war with these people from generation to generation. Forever.
That's
but
right.
you never ask your pastor to break that down. If you don't know nobody else, you need to know who Amalek is. You'll think, right?
That's right.
Let's go into the Son of Man Compact Bible Dictionary, man. Come on, make it make sense, man. You ask any pastor right now who Amalek, he gonna start stuttering. Oh, well. So, we're going to go into the Son of Man Compact Bible Dictionary. What's that, page 34? Read that for me, out.
Out of the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 34. Amalek, son of Eliphaz,
Okay.
the eldest son of Esau.
Ooh, read that again, out.
Eldest son of Esau.
Hold up. So Amalek is the eldest son, the oldest son of Esau. Oh, man. Okay. We get somewhere now. Okay. So now we know the Most High God going to have war with this nation of people, Esau, from generation to generation.
That's right.
All right. So before we go there, let me get some. Let's get some. My thing is this. They say, well, that could be considered prejudice or whatnot. But when you think about prejudice is when you make a statement on something without probable cause.
Right.
See, if I call you fat and you fat, that's not me being prejudiced. That's me just telling you what you is. Y'all don't talk about me now. But anyway, with my point I'm trying to make is this. If you're being described and being stated what you are, and it's the truth, it is what it is.
That's right.
Now watch it. Let's go back. Let's get some history right quick before we go into the Greek captivity. Give me 1 Samuel chapter 15, and we're going to go verse 2 and 3 right quick. Now, I'm going to bring to y'all attention, this the nation of people that Saul was supposed to have done away with. If he would have handled his business, we probably wouldn't be in the condition that we're in now.
That's right.
They ain't going to teach that in Sunday school, though. Joel Austin ain't going to teach that. Now watch it. Let's get some history on Amalek. Oh, no, he can't do that. Now watch this. Read that right quick.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15 and verse 2. Thus says the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel.
Okay.
How he laid wait for him in the way.
Okay.
When he came up from Egypt.
So notice this. This Moses he's addressing. He said he remembered. This not Saul. This the Almighty. He said he remembered what Amalek did when we came out of when we came out of Egyptian captivity. Mm-hmm. He said Amalek was waiting for us.
Bring that out.
Come on now. Read on.
Now go and smite Amalek.
Y'all know smite means kill. So the Most High was telling Saul to go kill. Read.
And utterly destroy all that they have.
Come on now.
And spare them not.
He said, do what?
And spare them not.
Read.
But slay both man and women,
That's right.
infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass.
All right, so now we got a little history on Amalek. I ain't want y'all to think I'm picking on Amalek. Come on, the Most High God said he gonna remember Amalek.
That's right.
For what they did to the children of Israel. All right, so now we got that understanding now. Now let's move forward now. Let's go ahead and go into 1 Maccabees chapter 1, and we're going to start at verse 1. We're going into our Greek captivity. Guess what? Based on the school district, I only thought we was in captivity over here. I thought we was doing it big, and then they came and got us. So according to the Bible, we was in 7 different major captivities.
That's right.
That's right.
Did you learn that in public school? You learned that? Oh, okay. Anybody learned that in public school, that we was in 7 major captivities? Didn't learn that, Then they, I ain't gonna go there. That's another class for another day. But I'm about to say, then we go to college and we join Greek fraternity. Boy, Esau cunning. He is very cunning. All right, so let's go ahead, everybody there. First Maccabees, chapter 1, and we're gonna start at verse 1.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian.
Now notice this. Why did they never told us Alexander the Great was in the Bible? I went to college too. I took what's called humanities. My professor was a doctor. He never shared with me that Alexander was in the Bible. Ooh, hold up, but they took this out the Bible. I give that he couldn't share that with me. But yes, children, Alexander the Great, what they call him, we know him as the Freak, is in the Bible. Read that again, out.
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Tyrium, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
Notice what the Bible, what it say right here. Alexandria, pretty much the first of the Greek king to actually unite all the Edomites. Because they had people before him, but he was the first to unite all the Esau people, the Edomites. So notice this, what he said. And when he united them, read on out.
And made many wars.
He was going, and they don't teach this in school, when he said he made many wars. Now think about it. If he united all Esau people, the so-called white people, who was his wars against? Make it make sense, man. This is where we go into we know the Renaissance is the rebirth for the white man coming back to rulership. Right. At this time, the dark-skinned people, the melanated people, we were in rulership. From the Israelites, even with the Egyptians, they was melanated people. They are melanated people. But this is where what happened when they went to war with many countries. Read on, huh?
And won many strongholds.
Come on now.
And slew the kings of the earth.
This is where they was killing the dark, all the dark kings. Read.
And went through to the ends of the earth.
Come on.
And took spoils of many nations.
Oh man, come on now.
Insomuch that the earth was quiet before him.
Understand what it said was quiet. That means he was taking over. He was. Now this is where you go into the understanding why you go to man, it kills me when I go to work and all that. When I see a pale face talking about he Egyptian. Oh yeah, I'm Egyptian. I'm 35% Egyptian, and oh man, come on, man, you killing me. But in the time of Alexander the Freak, this is where we got the word being Hellenized. Right. He was actually pretty much taking rulership and Hellenizing. When you go into the Zondervan, this is a matter of fact. They get Hellenist for me right quick before we go any further. In your Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 223. Because when you go into that format that Christianity like to use, that one precept was that Galatians 3:28, I believe. Now the Jew nor Greek, they have to understand the concept of what's being said here. What's that? Let me get that. What's that? Page 223. Bring that out.
Out of the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 223. Hellenists. Jews who made Greek their tongue.
Read that again. Jews that did what?
Jews who made Greek their tongue. And with it adopted Greek ideas and practices.
So this is what was going on. When Alexander was in rulership, when he was Hellenizing all the nations that he conquered, he was pretty much putting what they call the Greek fashion upon the people.
That's right.
So this is what we have to realize. This is why you got pale-faced people talking about they Egyptian. These are Ptolemy children. All right, so go back what we had out. Verse 3, go ahead.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 3. And went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations. And so much that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up.
Okay.
And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him.
Notice that tributary, they became taxpayers. Right. Picture you having land, you've been having land for many years, your people. And then y'all paying tax. They come in there, boy, that sound like where we at now, ain't it?
That's right.
Come on, man. They don't care how long Big Mama had the house in the family. That you don't pay them tax.
Bring it out.
Come on, man. It's nothing new up under the sun. So people at this time, when Alexander, like I said, he was only great if you was part of his army. If you was that nation that he was destroying, you wouldn't call him great. So we have to realize now, this is going on. What's this going on around what? 33, I'm sorry, tongue twister. 332 BC is what is going down there. This is starting up the Greek kingdom right now. The Greek captivity. Read on out.
And after these things, he fell sick.
How did he become sick? You can read and do research on it. He was a homosexual. He caught syphilis. So pretty much read on. He became sick. Read.
And perceived that he should die.
He died at the age of 33. Read.
Wherefore he called his servants.
Hold on. He called his what?
His servants.
Read.
Such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth.
So you understand what it is. These servants, these 4 generals that he brought up, that was raised with him, pretty much been around him all his life, so they probably homosexual too. But anyway, let's see what he did to him. Read on.
And parted his kingdom among them.
Okay.
While he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
Come on, man.
And his servants bare ruled every one in his place.
Uh-huh.
And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
Come on now.
So they did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth.
Notice what he's saying. Evil was what?
Multiplied in the earth.
I want you to read this, because right now I want y'all to make sure y'all have this. These 4 generals. It should be at the bottom of your page. Read that for me. Make sure y'all have this. Go ahead, Al.
When he was asked who should succeed him, Alexander said, the strongest.
Uh-huh.
Which answer led to his empire being divided between 4 of his generals.
Okay.
Cassander, Ptolemy.
Hold up now. Cassander, he was pretty much anchoring the Macedonians. That's the location that he was dealing with. Read.
Antigonus.
Hold on. Did you say, and who?
Ptolemy.
Ptolemy, that's Egypt. That's why we always say, man, that's the Ptolemy church. Man, those not the real Egyptian. Mm-hmm. The real Egyptian was dark-skinned and tall in stature. Read.
Antigonus.
Antigonus, he had pretty much Asia Minor. Read.
And Seleucus.
Seleucus had Assyria. So these were the 4 kingdoms that he departed. He pretty much gave rulership to them all. That's all on it? Mm-hmm. All right. So now, let's go back to verse 10. So we know, and make sure you know them 4 generals, because I'm telling you, well, go ahead, we'll get to it. Verse 10.
Verse 10, the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus,
okay,
surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome.
Okay.
And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of Greece.
So understand, it's 137 years of this wickedness being multiplied. Now, Antiochus, man, I think that was Epiphanes. Yeah. You got to realize what's going on now. So this is the building of the Greek captivity, right, of the Greek kingdom. Now, that being said, let's go into 1 Maccabees chapter 41 and verse 50. So same chapter. Let's just drop down to verse 41. What was going on in the process of this Greek captivity? I want to make sure we have a good understanding of. Before we get to the destruction of this wicked general, we want to just let you know the foundation of what was going on. And they just dealing with Antiochus right now. Go ahead, Op.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41. And King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and every one should leave his laws.
Notice what he say. All shall be what?
One people.
Okay, and every people should what?
Should leave his law.
Now, when you think about this, Israel, what nation of people have the one true law? Come on, man, Israel. So this is what you look at right now. This is where you get democracy from. What was the purpose of coming all together? So that we shall forget our laws. Right. If we forget our laws, the Most High God is not with us. Right. They know that. Read.
So all the heathen
Come on now.
agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
You know, we got the 2/3. Go along to get along.
And sacrificed unto idols.
Come on now.
And profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Come on now.
And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple.
Now, note I want y'all to bring this to your attention. If they forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice at this time, if we couldn't do sacrifices, how we gonna come out of sin?
Bring it out. Right.
They knew that.
Right.
Crafty counsel. All right, we ain't gonna tell them this, but just stop the burnt offering. Think about it. Read on, Doc.
And that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
Come on now.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh.
Come on now.
And unclean beasts.
So this was a direct attack against what? The children of Israel.
That's right.
Out of all them, why they choose a pig, guys? Why they go ahead and get the on us? Come on, man. We can't make this up. We can't make this up, Israel. We have to realize, man, there's nothing new up under the sun. Read on, out.
That they should also leave their children uncircumcised.
Understand, uncircumcised, not teaching them the law. And also, physically, it was a law that we supposed to circumcise our young men as well.
That's right.
So they were trying to erase everything about us. When you think about it, all the nations together, who is this really affected? If you wasn't an Israelite and you looking at the rule and regulations, you're like, hey, I wasn't doing this anyway.
Yeah, okay.
It ain't bothering me anyway. But read on now.
And make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation to the end that might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
That was the whole purpose of this, that we were going to forget the law. We can't keep them doing Passover. They going to remember the Most High God freed them out of Egypt. Come on, man. The whole purpose was them to forget the law. They weren't caring about us worshiping him. They just want us not to worship the Most High Yah.
That's right.
Read on, now.
And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should he should die.
He said what?
He should die.
Come on, man. There was no negotiation. And you know how they were dealing with us, Israel. This is why I try to go into the understanding, let our people know we have grace now. We have time to get it right. And we still stuck on stupid.
That's right.
Come on, man.
That's great.
But it's our last captivity. But check this out. For time's sake, let's move forward. We're going to stay in 1 Maccabees. Let's go now to chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 1. So just drop down.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 1.
Because at the process, this all going on. Hardship, everything that was really used to persecute against Israel, to keep us away from the Most High God. Read on.
In those days arose Mattathias,
Come on now.
the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Joab.
So that means a Levite.
From Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons, Jonathan, called Kedis, Simon, called Thesis, Judas, who was called Maccabees, Eleazar, called Abiram, and Jonathan, whose surname was Apphus. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem.
Notice what Mattathias, being a Levite, it said when he saw, this is the thing about it now, Israel, we have lost love for our people. We have lost love for ourselves. Mattathias, he said when he saw the blasphemy, the lies, the foolishness of his people.
That's right.
Read on, I'll go ahead.
He said, woe is me.
He said what?
Woe is me.
Come on now.
Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers. Her temple is become as a man without glory.
Come on now.
Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy.
Understand, this is what Mattathias, he's seeing all this. And him being supposed to be what? Teacher of the law, he's hurt right now. He's looking like He got the medicine, but the people not receiving it now. Because they don't even want it. Because they already know, like, man, they going to kill me, man. I can't. Hey, man, get the Bible off me, man.
Please.
They ain't business with it. Hey, man, who left it on my table? That's how bad it was. So they realized, he like, man, they don't want to stand up. So let's see what happened. Read verse 10.
What nation had not had a part in her kingdom?
So I'm going to tell you like this. As you become built up in the word of God, we just not going against Esau. We just know Esau the head corporate. But guess what? What does the Bible say? Read that again.
What nation had not had a part in her kingdom?
This is what I want to share with you. I call it blood money. For this to be kept so intact, don't you know the other nation had to play a part? Don't you know Esau had to share the wealth? That's why when you look at it, Moab, you know what I'm saying? You look at Ham, they come all in your community. You've been in your community 29 years. Moab been there 2 years. He got 2 car washes. He got three laundromat. Come on, man. And you like, man, what's going on? They all played a part in enslaving and pretty much what they call exploitation of the children of Israel. Finish it out.
And gotten of her spoils.
They all played a role. They all got to pay. We ain't taking no prisoners, Israel. So now, that being said, building up that understanding, let's go on to Maccabees, stay first Maccabees. I'm jumping around, Israel. I'm trying to make sure we get a good understanding. It is a lot of reading. Give me 2 Maccabees. We're going to start at verse 49. Because right now, after Mattathias has addressed the situation, he's looking at what's going on. He's in a position right now where he's about to die. But let's see what he's talking about. Read that right quick out.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 49.
Because right now, Mattathias, he done rose up. He's fighting against Antiochus right now. He's actually gathering up the Israelites and telling them to make a stand. But right now, before he depart, he had one last, and I said this was probably one of the best speeches he'd made. One of the best speeches that you can make is to exhort your people to keep the charge of the Most High. Watch this. Read this right quick out.
Now when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now had pride and rebuke gotten strength, and the time of destruction, and the wrath of indignation.
Come on.
Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law.
He told them to be what?
Be ye zealous for the law.
Now for your wife.
For the law.
For the money.
For the law.
He told his boys, hey, be zealous for the law. Read.
And give your lives for the covenant of your father.
Ooh, and give your what?
Your lives for the covenant of your father.
Come on now.
Call to remembrance what acts of your fathers did in their time.
He's telling his boys, knowing that he about to leave, he telling them, you need to call to remembrance the acts of your fathers, your forefathers. Read.
So shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name.
Come on now.
Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation?
Come on.
And it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment.
He did what?
Kept the commandment.
Hold up, Joseph got sold to the Egyptian though.
Kept the commandment.
Ooh, come on now.
And was made Lord of Egypt.
Come on, man. Say, now we go for time's sake. Well, I'm getting all excited over it, guys. Now, I can tell you. Now, that being said, let's jump down to give me Exodus, man. Give me Exodus 14 and 14 right quick. Israel, we have to realize this, man. We done tried everything but keep the commandments.
That's right.
You look, you done did Black Panthers. You done try to fight the system. You done try to interrogate the system, antagonize the system. How about you come back to the Most High God?
Bring it up.
Keep the commandments, man. And live. Real talk out. Man, hold up. Go ahead and bring that out.
The book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord shall fight for you.
He shall what?
Shall fight for you.
Come on now.
And you shall hold your peace.
Now we have to understand the definition of peace. Is the Most High God gonna fight for us? But we shall what?
Hold your peace.
Read. That's it. Now I'm gonna show you. Precept that out real quick. Like, give me that in the Psalms 119, and go ahead and give me 165. Because I want Israel to realize that the Most High God gonna fight for us. We have to hold our peace. To hold our peace, we have to love something that's gonna bring us peace. What is that? Bring it out.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 165. Great peace.
Great what?
Great peace.
That's what we seek. You read.
Great peace have they which love thy law.
Ooh, read that again. I didn't hear you.
Great peace have they which love thy law.
Come on now.
And nothing shall offend them.
This is what we have to realize. You want to attain that great peace? We want to get out this captivity. We got to love the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High God.
That's right.
That's what Israel been lacking. Now that being said, let's go back into this Greek captivity now. For time's sake, where we going to go? Give me 1 Maccabees chapter 2, and we're going to start at verse 64. First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 64. All right, go ahead,
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 64. Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant, and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law.
So listen to what Mattathias is telling his boys. He keep telling them, in this fight, he reminding them to stand on the commandments of the Most High God. He didn't say go get some extra swords. Hey man, go get some cannonballs. He told them, what counsel did Mattathias give his boys? Read that again.
Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant, and shew yourselves men in the behalf of the law.
Of the law, read.
For by it shall ye obtain glory.
He said, by it shall we obtain glory. Read on.
And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel.
Come on now.
Give ear unto him.
He's no Simon. He said Simon pretty much is similar to the dad of Mattathias. He told him, hey, he going to always keep the outline of these scriptures. Give counsel to Simon. Read.
Give ear unto him always, and he shall be a father unto you. As for Judas Maccabeus, he had been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain.
Come on now.
And fight the battle of the people. Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people.
Come on now.
Recompense fully the heathen, and take heed to the commandments of the law. So he blessed them, and was gathered to his father.
So pretty much Mattathias passed away. So this is what he shared with his brothers, his sons, before he passed away. Everything led back to standing firm on the will, on the pretty much law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God. Now, let's get a little more understanding. We jumping around Israel, bear with me. 1 Maccabees chapter 3, and we're going to start at verse 1 and 2. Because now we know they named what Maccabees the hammer. We're going to get some insights on why he was named the hammer. See, thing about this, Israel, we don't give names. This is not the YMCA. This is not that because your mama paid for your fees. We're going to give you a title and a name. No. The men of the Most High God, man, whatever title you got, you earned that title. You know what I'm saying? So watch this. Go ahead,
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 1. Then his son Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead.
He did what?
Rose up in his stead.
Come on, man. With the war. Come on, man. Put your last thing your daddy tell your brother, make Maccabees the captain. man, like you, hey, I'm on it. I'm on it. You know he's on. He ain't said nothing. Come on now. Read on.
And all his brethren helped him.
And they did what?
And all his brethren
I
helped him.
want y'all to pay attention to that. For Israel, boy, we can't get. I don't think we can get together on a beer, barbecue, and blunt. We might know. We'll negotiate that. I got. Hold on. You barbecuing? Oh, like, I might come through there. That's the only thing we can come together on. Realize this, man. Read verse 2 again.
And all his brethren helped him.
Come on now.
And so did all they that held with his father. And they fought with cheerfulness. That's right. The battle of Israel.
Notice what they say. They fought with cheerfulness.
That's
they
right.
took honor in doing this.
That's right. That's right.
Come on now, man. I'm saying, man. I'm getting excited right now. They did you some joy. They weren't worried about coming back home. If they die on the field, they know they died in righteousness.
That's right.
Come on, man.
That's
Now let's jump around right quick. Jump down to verse 10. Verse 10.
Verse 10. Then Apollonius gathered the Gentiles together.
Okay, this is pretty much an Edomite. Read.
And a great host of Samaria to fight against Israel.
All right.
Which thing when Judas perceived, he went forth to meet him. And so he smote him.
He did what?
He smote him.
Come on now.
And slew him. Many also fell down slain.
Come on now.
But the rest fled. Wherefore Judas took their spoils, and Apollonius sword also.
Uh-huh.
And therewith he fought all his life long.
So now Apollonius now pretty much he got wiped out. He went against Judas Maccabee. This is another general. He done. It's like you just got introduced to the crew and you out of there already. Show you how Maccabees arose, taking them out.
That's right.
Read on, huh?
Now when Syrian, a prince of the army of Syria, heard say that Judas had gathered unto him a multitude and company of the faithful to go out with him to war, he said, I will get me a name and honor in the kingdom, for I will go fight with Judas and them that are with him, who despise the king's commandment.
Come on now.
So he made him ready to go up, and there went with him a mighty host of the ungodly to help him, and to be avenged of the children of Israel. And when they came near to the going of Bethlehem, Judas went forth to meet him with a small company.
Hold on, so wait a minute. He grabbed all the ungodly men, right? He had a big army. It said Judah met up with him with a small what?
A small company.
Judah said, man, hold on, y'all. Some of y'all can fall back. Y'all took the D. He took the D. I'm gonna show you how valiant our brothers, our forefathers were, man. He took a small company. Let's see why. Read.
Who, when they saw the host coming to meet them, said unto Judas, how shall we be able to, being so few, to fight against so great a multitude and so strong? Seeing we are ready to faint in fasting all this day. Unto whom Judas answered, it is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of a few.
Come on now. Say, well, is that not a captain? Judah Maccabee almost like, bro, I'm going to take out by 80 myself. Why y'all worried about it? We good. That's what he say.
And with the God of heaven.
And he said what?
And with the God of heaven.
Read.
It is all one to deliver with a great multitude or a small company.
Come on, man. He said the Most High God is with us, bro. We good. When you watch that movie 300, that's talking about us.
That's right. That's right.
Come on, man. Yeah. The movie 300 was killing 3,000. Come on, Israel. Read on, out.
For the company of the battle standing not in a multitude of an host, but strength coming from heaven.
Come on now.
They came against us in much pride and iniquity.
What do Esau do? He do what?
Much pride and iniquity.
Come on now.
To destroy us and our wives and children, and not to spoil us. But we fight for our lives and our laws.
Okay. Now read verse 21 again. We do what?
But we fight for our lives and our laws. Wherefore the Lord himself will overthrow them before our face.
Come on.
And as for you, be ye not afraid of them.
I want to ask Israel right now. Are we fighting for our lives and the law?
Bring it out.
Come on, bro. Some of y'all fight just to outdo the next brother. We fight against each other. They said they fought for their life and the law. Read on now.
Now as soon as he had left off speaking, he leaped suddenly upon them. And so Syrian and his host was overthrown before him.
Hold up. So now, this the other general, Syrian. He did what happened to him out?
He leaped suddenly upon them.
Okay.
And so Syrian and his host was overthrown before him.
Out of there. We got two generals down there. They not lasting long once they show up. Israel show out.
That's right.
Done deal. Come on, I'm about to watch 300. I'm about to watch that after Shabbat again. Y'all about to watch that movie again, Israel. Just know that's us. Y'all, you watch that again, Israel, that's us. Out of there. All right, read on. Huh?
And they pursued them from the going down of Bethlehem unto the plain, where were slain about 800 men of them, and the residue fled into the land of Philistines. Then began to fear of Judas and his brethren, and all exceeding great dread, to fall upon the nations round about them.
This is what I want y'all to understand. I don't want to give this man name the Hammer, and y'all don't know why he was called the Hammer. I'm building what it says. I'm giving you his report. It's proven. So Israel was moving in a strong fashion.
That's right.
Bashing, going in. What verse you had now? Read on.
Insomuch as his fame came unto the king, and all nations talked about the battles of Judas.
Notice when the fame came to the king, this pretty much an Edomite. He wasn't too pleased with the situation. He named off his general, Syria, dead. Apollos, dead. But he like, damn, wait, they just left the other day. did he kill them before they? No, once they got there, they was out of there. Flake, out of there. Now I'm gonna tell you this: just knowing army and military, the general's not the first person on the battlefield. So you gotta realize, if they would get to the general that fast, man, they would wipe it out the soldiers like it was nothing. Come on now. All right, we'll be in verse 27. Read.
Now when King Antiochus heard these things, he was full of indignation.
He was full of what?
Indignation.
Perpetual hate. God, killing my best people out there, man. God, and you gotta think about it. You know anything about a ranking system? If the person that went before you was better and mightier than you, you're not too anxious to go.
That's right.
Hold on, wait, what? He killed who? He already killed. Oh, you want me to go? Like, he trained me. I'm painting the picture of what's going on.
Bring it out.
Read it out.
Wherefore he sent and gathered together all the forces of his realm,
Okay.
even a very strong army.
Now check it out for time's sake. Jump down to verse 31. Because right now, Maccabees, they wiping them out right now. First, jump down to
verse 31. Wherefore, being greatly perplexed in his mind, he determined to go into Persia.
This pretty much King Antiochus. He perplexed because he's seeing the people that handle the business and it's not getting handled. So read on.
There to take the tributes of the countries and to gather much money.
I'm going to show you how King Antiochus is moving. He ain't going to the war, but he going to get his money from the country that he conquered. So read on.
So he left Lysias, a nobleman, and one of the blood royal, to oversee the affairs of the king from the river Euphrates unto the borders of Egypt. And to bring up his son Antiochus until he came again. Moreover, he delivered unto him the half of his forces and the elephants, and gave him charge of all things that he would have done, and also concerning them that dwelt in Judah and Jerusalem.
So now you already went up to 32. Lysias, a noble man, right? So now this is King Antiochus. He had to go get another general, right? Now in the process of this, what you was at? Verse what? 34. Finish 34 out.
I did.
All right. Now we're gonna jump over. Give me 38.
Verse 38. Then Lysias came to Ptolemy.
Because understand, Lysias, he's another general. He came to who?
Ptolemy, the son of the Romanes, and Nicanor, and Gorgias, mighty men of the king's friends. And with them he sent 40,000 footmen and 7,000 horsemen. So
understand, Lysias had to re-up. He realized, like, I gotta go get some more help, man. Dude, we're going in. Read on up.
To go into the land of Judah and to destroy it as the king commanded. So
now we're gonna jump over Israel for time's sake. First Maccabees chapter 7, and we're gonna start at verse 26. Because I want y'all to understand, Nicanor, he was something else. Now remember, 2 generals already been wiped out. So they had to go re-up and get some more men. Now, go ahead and read that right quick out.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 7, and verse 26.
Because I want to show y'all the understanding the spirit of Nicanor.
Then the king sent Nicanor, one of his honorable princes, a man that bare deadly hate unto Israel.
Hold on. So not only he got a man, think about it, when you want something done, I'm going to get somebody that really hates you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I want Israel knocked out, wiped out. So I gotta find someone that hate them as much as I do. So read that again. I want them to understand that. Read that
Then
again.
the king sent Nicanor, one of his honorable princes, a man that bare deadly hate unto Israel, with commandment to destroy the people.
Read on.
So Nicanor came to Jerusalem with a great force, and sent unto Judas and his brethren deceitfully with friendly words, saying,
What's that in Psalms saying? Word smooth as butter. But war was in his heart. Nothing new up under the sun,
right.
Israel. They truly, the Bible tells us this, they truly hate us. But guess what? Crafty counsel. Read on, dog.
let there be no battle between me and you.
Hold on, what did Nicanor say to Israel?
Let there be no battle between me and you. I will come with a few men.
He will come with what?
With a few men.
Come on now.
That I might see you in peace. He came therefore to Judas, and they saluted one another peacefully. Howbeit the enemies were prepared to take away Judas by violence.
Come on now. Nothing new up under the sun.
That's right.
Now, time's sake, I want to show you the format of Nicanor and the concept of what Nicanor did. I'm not gonna go through all of the situations that happened, but I want Israel to get a good understanding of our enemy, man. Give me that. What's that? Matter of fact, let's get that Sirach right quick. What's that? 12 and 10. Let me get that right quick, because right now, hey, a smooth conversation, Israel. We be saying, oh man, they all good, man. You know. I mean, I know he said what he said, but you know, he cool with me. That's a lie. Read that right quick.
The book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
What does the Bible say?
Never trust thine enemy.
Read.
For like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
This is what we have to realize. Now we're gonna go what? 2 Maccabees chapter 14 and verse 30. Because remember what was said. If they were to give Judah Maccabee over peacefully, you know what I'm saying? It won't be no violence done and whatnot. Now, at the time, we're skipping forward now, and I want to share with y'all, the book of Maccabees is not in what they call chronologic order. So it jumped back and forth. So bear with me, I'm about to show you something. Now, remember the concept of him dealing with them peacefully. But right now, they wasn't giving up Maccabees. So now he's getting frustrated. But go ahead,
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 14. Chapter 14, verse 30.
Watch this.
For after that, Jonathan, having gathered his nation together.
14 verse 30. Second Maccabees. No problem.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 14, verse 30. Notwithstanding, when Maccabeus saw that Nicanor began to cherish unto him,
that goes into pretty much being in a rude manner. Because right now, remember, Nicanor trying to get to it. Now, things getting a little hostile there. It's like a standoff. They're not trying to give them up. They're not trying to bring them out. So, this what's going on. Read.
And that he entreated him more roughly than he was wont.
Hold up, because remember in chapter 3, he was all cool with him. Come on, man. Never trust thy enemy. Read out.
Perceiving that such sour behavior came not of good, he gathered together not a few of his men and withdrew himself from Nicanor. But the other, knowing that he was notably prevented by Judas' policy, came into the great and holy temple and commanded the priests that were offering their usual sacrifices to deliver him the man.
So this is what the so-called white man do every time. He get to a point where you see him on the standoff. Come out with your hand up. We got the place surrounded. Okay, we're going to send negotiators in there. We got your mom out here. Hey, he don't care about his mom. We got your children out here. All right, then, well, about 24 hours later, you watching news just go off. Say, what happened out there? Because guess what? They pride in them. They get impatient. They like pretty much like they like scavengers. Because now, I'm done playing with them. I try to be nice. I try to be cool about the situation. Watch this. Read on. Let's see now. Now, he lost his cool now. What verse we had out? 32. Watch this.
And when they swear that that they could not tell where the man was whom that he saw, he stretched out his right hand toward the temple.
Understand? He all up in the sanctuary now, threatening the priest and everything. What did Nicanor do? He stretched out his what?
He stretched out his right hand toward the temple and made an oath in this manner. If you would not deliver me, Judas, as a prisoner, I will lay this temple of God even with the ground. I will break down the altar and erect a notable temple unto Bacchus.
Come on now.
After these words he departed. Then the priests lifted up their hands toward heaven and besought him that was ever a defender of the nation, saying in this manner, Thou, O Lord of all things, who has need of nothing, was pleased that the temple of thine habitation should be among us. Therefore now, O holy Lord of holiness, keep this house even ever undefiled.
So understand, man, we was praying to the Most High God about this situation. Read on.
Which lately was cleaned and stopped ever unrighteous mouth.
So understand what Nicanor did, and you'll see. Let's jump into 2 Maccabees chapter 15. We're gonna start at verse 25.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 15, verse 25.
Because remember when he went up into the temple, he stretched out his right hand. He pretty much threatened the priest and threatened everybody there. Talking about how he was going to tear down the temple and everything. Let's see what goes on now.
Then Nicanor and they that were with him came forward with trumpets and songs. But Judas and his company encountered the enemy with invocation and prayer.
Come on. With what? Invocation?
Invocation and prayer.
I want y'all to understand that. We can't fight no battle without the Most High God.
That's right.
And the only way he gonna hear our prayers, we gotta what? Keep the commandments.
That's right.
Come on, man. Read on.
So that fighting with their hands and praying unto God with their hearts, they slew no less than 35,000 men.
Come on now.
For through the appearance of God, they were greatly cheered. Now when the battle was done, returned again with joy, they knew that Nicanor lay dead in his harness. Then they made a great shout and noise, praising the Almighty in their own land, in their own language. And Judas, who was ever the chief defender of the citizens, both in body and in mind, and who continued his love toward his countrymen all his life, commanded to strike off Nicanor's head.
He did what?
Commanded to strike off Nicanor's head.
This what happened to the Greek freak. Read on. They cut his head off. Read.
And his hand with his shoulder.
Okay.
And bring them to Jerusalem. So when he was there and called them of his nation together and set the priests before the altar, he set for them that were over the tower, and shewed them vile Nicanor's head.
So he shewed them Nicanor's head.
And the hand of the blasphemy, which with proud brags he had stretched out against the holy temple of the Almighty.
When he stretched out his hand toward the temple, they showed he cut that off too with the shoulder. Read.
And when he had cut out the tongue of the ungodly Nicanor, he commanded that they should give it by pieces unto the fowls.
Ooh. Hold up, Bob. Hold on. We ain't reading the Bible. It's too heavy for Christianity right now. Ooh, no, neither Jew nor Greek, huh? Cut his tongue and fed it to the fowl. This is why we tell Israel, man, we got to put off that weak nature.
That's right.
We serve a God of war. He played no games. See, right now, somebody right now, I can't.
Right.
All right, you better get your mind right, Israel. Read on, Doc.
And hang up the reward of his madness before the temple. So every man praised toward the heaven the glorious Lord, saying, Blessed be he that kept his own place undefiled. He hanged also Nicanor's head upon the tower.
Come on now, hold on, man, hold up. God told the people doing all this, he did what?
He hanged also Nicanor's head upon the tower.
I'm tell you, I tell my people all the time, Christianity got us soft, man.
That's right.
Christianity got us soft. This is how our forefathers was rocking. Read.
An evident and manifest sign unto all of the help of the Lord. And they ordained all with a common decree.
They ordained this a law, a common decree. Read.
In no case to let that the day pass without solemnity, but to celebrate the 13th day of the 12th month.
Understand, we in the 13th day. We'll be in the 13th day of the 12th month. For us, it will be pretty much destruction of Nicanor will be February the 8th, the 28th. Read on.
Which in the Syrian tongue is called Adar.
So we in the month of
That's
Adar.
right.
Read on.
The day before Mardukades.
So pretty much that's Mordecai. So to understand Israel, and I did a class, I just posted on the link. The destruction of Nicanor rolls into the Feast of Purim.
That's right.
This really is a 3-day feast. From destruction of Nicanor, then the Feast of Purim is a 2-day feast. So we have to realize this is what we're supposed to be keeping. So where you at? That's it. So Israel, I hope y'all got good understanding. Hey, happy feast. I'm gonna say this: happy destruction of Nicanor, the Greek freak, and all that Israel. We love y'all, and we gonna say shalom.
Shalom.